All right. Well, I'm out here at this horse ranch again. It's called Open My World. It's the one that's well, they take care of kids and introduce them to horses and get them out and going. You know, the kids with special needs, stuff like that. It's a pretty cool place. And there's actually a lot going on today. You can see behind me, they have a new John Deere that was donated to them, which is fantastic. And there's one of the horses here, wondering what the hell I'm doing. But yeah, so there's a lot going on. It's a really cool place. Yeah, there's another one there that's you can see there's a lot going on. There's one of the kids. They teach them how to care for horses, give them something to care for. You know, it's really cool. And there they go. And here's a guy. Hey, buddy. What's up? Yes, sure. All right. Is that the one that doesn't like me? Yeah. Yeah, so I think they're just finishing up their rides. And then I'll come over and work on these tractors. Alright, so here's the John Deere that was donated. It's the LA 140. Yeah, good one. Has a 23 horse V-twin. Looks like they got a new battery for it here. And it looks like a set of fuses. So it looks to be in pretty good shape. They wanted me to troubleshoot it, or just go over it, not really troubleshooting, but putting the battery on there, replacing the fuse, and give it a good look over to make sure it's roadworthy, so to speak. You know. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go around and inspect everything, which it really looks to be in really good shape. Right? There's it always tends to rust down here, don't they, on John Deere's? But everything else looks good. The tires look good. So just on visual inspection, it's not bad at all. All right. So that's what this video is going to be about. It's when you get a used garden tractor in or a lawn tractor in that you really don't know the history of it. Well, what do? You just crank it up and go. I probably wouldn't do that, but we'll go through and inspect this thing and make sure that it is ready to go to work and it's just not going to break down on you as soon as you hop on, right? So let's get started. Okay, so where to start? A lot of times I'll just go over here and turn the key on. I like to see how many hours are on the unit, but this battery is completely dead. So luckily they did bring a battery, because I don't think they have a battery charger in here. If they do, if they don't, that's probably something they need. I mean, there's that Cub Cadet that I've been working on for a while. They have this Ford tractor and something else. But that might be something that'd be a good donation for them. But anyway, let's see. One of the first things, actually. So I like to check the oil and make sure. See, that's not bad. So it is a little on the low side, but the oil looks good, and at least there's oil in it. I don't see any oil leaks around the filter or down around the bottom seal or anything. Yeah, everything looks pretty clean. Yeah, and that's usually just oil that caked up after changing the oil, you know. So the oil's good. The filters, that actually looks okay. I can change that. And the next filter, let's take a look at the air filter. Hopefully it's a decent filter. Alright, there we go. And the filter looks okay. I'll shake it off. Well, that looks okay. It's going through the pre-filter. We'll just brush that off. And that filter looks okay. I'd probably go another, at least to the end of this season with this one. So that's good. I like to see that people have been taking care of their stuff. Alright, so I'm ready to swap this battery out. And they say it blew a fuse. I want to find out why. What's not good to see. Here's the fuse holder. It looks like they just jumped the fuse. That's not good. So let's get this battery off real quick. Alright, so I got the battery in. Now I'm about to plug in a fuse. It's usually a 20 amp fuse. And I'm going to see if it blows right away. I heard from one of the girls out here, because a guy donated this over to him, right? So that's fantastic. And she thinks, he said it blew when he was trying to charge the battery. So yeah, he must have just shorted something out. Well, it's not blowing. That's good. Let's turn the key on. And I see the lights here are turning on, off and on. That's good. I was trying to see how many hours it shows on this, but it's not doing anything. Let me get this out of the way, and we'll try to crank this thing over. Alright, let's see. Okay, well, it's turning over. That's great. I'll look under here because it's not showing any data at all. No hours, no service reminder or anything. So it might be unplugged, but I'll take a look at that. Looks like there's some gas in it. I can barely see any gas here at the bottom of the level. So maybe it's just out of gas. I'll put some gas in it and hopefully it'll crank up. Alright, I've got gas in it. Let's cross our fingers. Choke's on. So let's disconnect the fuel line here. All right, coming out of the hose, I just want to make sure the fuel pump is pumping. So let's see what it does. It's definitely pumping. So let's put this back on. Now I'm going to take the air cleaner back off. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to spray some carb cleaner or maybe just drop some gas directly down here. This is where the entrance to the carburetor, the intake right here. So I'm just going to dribble it down and see if it'll crank. Alright, let's see what that does. Alright, that's a good sign. It cranks over, so I know I have to clean the carburetor out. Alright, so we know the engine is actually in good shape. We just need to clean the carburetor out. The fuel filter actually looks pretty good. The oil looked good. I don't know how many hours are on there, which reminds me I wanted to check and see. Oh, that's plugged in. So our little counter there is not working. So I don't know how many hours are on it. I mean, it's good to know when you have a maintenance schedule going on. If you're going to do it every, 100 hours, when it reaches 400 or 500, you need a little more care on it. But just for basic maintenance purposes, it's really good to have one of those on there. But apparently that one's out. Don't know if they want to spend the money to put one back in. But other than that, I go under here and I inspect the belts. And they actually look pretty good. Everything's snug. The belt's in good shape. We can look under here. Oh, they have the mulching deal connected. That's the mulching plug. So now it's gonna, instead of shooting grass out, it'll mulch. Around here, I mean, you can see what they're going to be mowing. So I don't know if they really need the mulcher or not. It might bog it down because it does get kind of high out here sometimes when they go out here and mow. And that one's been through it. That one I'm actually going to have to take the mowing deck off and do some welding. Yeah, see how that broke apart? So they definitely go through it. Back to this one, what was I saying? The belt was okay. I want to inspect the blades. And in this case, make sure your key's off and all that good stuff. And I can reach under and feel the blade. And looks like feels like a lot of chips under there. A lot of dents on this blade for sure. And while you're inspecting the blades, you jiggle them around and make sure that your spindles are not loose, or if the bearings go out, it'll jiggle back and forth or start squealing or whatever. But we won't be able to hear any of that until we get this carburetor cleaned out. So far, it's looking to be a pretty nice little mower. And the LA series, I think this is about a mid-2000. What does it say here? Yeah, 2006. So it's in really good shape for the age, right? So let's see if we can get this carburetor cleaned really quick. So this is another thing I like to check. You can see the Zerk fittings here and on the inside of your wheel. See it sticking out there? So those are your 2 points here on each side. And some mowers, right at the midpoint of this little A-frame piece. Let's See if we can see it. Some have a Zerk fitting sticking out. Yeah. Can you see my finger? There. So right up there, and you can feel the Zerk fitting on it. And that's usually a very overlooked point. It's right at the pivot point where it's right at the center, at the very bottom. So, you know, where it pivots back and forth. And there's a Zerk fitting there. And on your spindles, and from right here we can't tell, and we'll look at them a little later, but your spindles will have, some will have them up here at the top, some underneath, but just keep in mind, check all 3 spindles, 2 or 3, whichever it takes. This one has 3. So just don't forget to give a lube job. Alright, so the last thing to do, I'm just going to clean up around here, get the carburetor cleaned out, and this thing should be up and running. So to keep this video short, I'm not going to go step by step, you know, on cleaning this carburetor out. I think I have another video out there that covers that. So I will tune back in once this is cleaned out and all this is running. Alright? Alright, so I took the carburetor off the seat and I took the bowl off. I always check this fuel solenoid. Let me get a close up for you. Yeah. I always check for the fuel solenoid. And lo and behold, you can see down in there, it's not budging, so I'll go ahead and give the carburetor a quick cleaning, but I think the problem is the fuel solenoid. So the first thing I want to do, I want to make sure there's power going to the cord. Let's ground this off. Yeah. Okay, so it's got power getting to it, so let's go ahead and take this joker off and see if we can free this up. There was some junk down here at the bottom, so let's see if we can free that up. There we go. Alright, let's give it a test run. That was the problem. I'll go ahead and put all this back together and we'll be ready to roll. Yeah, so you see how a quick inspection before you actually go out and use anything it's a big help, right? It'll save you some headaches down the line, but in this case, of course, it wouldn't have started anyway if you tried to use it, because we figured out it needs a carburetor cleaning, right? Everything else is working good. You know, I primed the carburetor so we know it turns over, it's getting spark, all that good stuff. The oil looked good. Put fresh gas in it. Oh, what else? I was worried about the fuse blowing, and you can see how they just jumped the fuse there, which is not a good idea. But it turns out I think the guy that owned this previously, he shorted it out when he was trying to charge the old battery up. And I don't even know if it'll hold a charge. I'll find out later. But we were able to switch the battery out, put a new fuse in, and everything's working great. We know the counter on it, the hour counter and maintenance reminder deal is not working. It's not critical, it's nice to have, definitely so you can keep track of all your own maintenance, and if you ever try to resell it, you know, it shows how many hours it was on the machine. But in this case, I doubt if they'll do that, but that's up to them, right? What else? We looked over the mowing deck. The belts look good. The blades need a second look. It's either they just need sharpening or replacement. Just from feeling it, I can tell there was some, it was blunt and there was a few nicks on the blade. So those need to be looked at. The spindles look good. Everything was solid. I showed you the lube points on the front end and on the spindles. And what else? Everything else looked really, really good on this tractor. So that's something to do before you actually use it, or if you're thinking about buying a used one. So now we know exactly where we stand with this and what it's going to take. So, well, that's it. That's it for this video. I'm just out here at one of my favorite places here, so I'm going to go play with the horses a little more. And thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and watch my next video. Hey guys. What are you poking at? Huh? There you go. All right, that's all I can do.